I think media is so powerful, and when you're a young child and you don't see yourself represented, and you see only a certain type of hair represented in magazine covers, television shows, movies, etc., you know, and you don't see yourself represented, you start looking at yourself like, what's wrong with me? How come I look so different from everything that everybody is consuming? So the reason why we decided to center it on a father-daughter relationship was, you know, I had never really seen that represented, particularly in the African-American space. You know, I think there's this huge stereotype that, you know, black men aren't involved in their kids' lives, and, you know, them doing something as domestic as trying to do hair was kind of something that was seen as kind of out the box, essentially. You know, we're getting away from these regular gender norms of like, okay, only moms do this and only dads do that. You know, at the end of the day, you both have to kind of contribute to the household. It really was just done with that in mind, just trying to represent this modern day idea of a father, but especially shining a light on African American fathers who so rarely get depicted in mainstream media in this way. You know, that's why there's a $1 billion beauty industry. You know, it's kind of set up so that you're supposed to think of yourself as less than, and you're supposed to try to seek out different products to try to assimilate. And, you know, your uniqueness is what makes you special. You know, it's crazy. Like, we were on this book tour and so many parents would come up to us and be like, man, I wish I had this book 40 years ago. You know, maybe I'd have felt better about myself. And it took me this much longer to try to come into my self-confidence. And so I think the sooner we can just get that self-confidence into our kids, you know, the better it's going to be for them in the long run. You know, you're beautiful. You know, you're enough as you are. Don't think that you have to be something that you're not. And just love yourself in your natural state. And then once you get older, if you want to change it up, you know, feel free to. But, you know, you're fine just the way you are.